And we're back at it again. Oh, that's not an actual song I just kind of made up. Hello everyone, welcome to another UFC review. The first UFC card review of 2018. And it takes place at the Scott Trade Center in St. Louis, Missouri. And this is going to be a short one because there really wasn't a lot of fights. 4 on the prelim card, 4 on the main card. And we're just going to get right to them. So let's do that. We kick things off with a fight between Kyung Kyo Kong, who returned from, I think, an injury, and Guido Canetti, and Kong won by triangle choke with about 7 seconds left in the first round. This fight gets an up. It was really, really exciting. There was some really good back and forth action with Canetti landing some especially good right hands early in the round. And despite the fact that he lost, it was a pretty close fight nonetheless, and I really enjoyed it. It was a really good way to kick off the prelim card. I mean, it was nice to see Kong win, especially considering how long he's been out. So, I don't really have any complaints. Just a really, really good fight. I enjoyed it. Next fight is Irene Aldana against Talita Bernardo, and this fight also gets an up. It was a really, really, really close fight. I would probably give this one like second best fight than I personally, because it was just super exciting. There was a lot of really good grappling as well as fantastic striking, mostly from Bernardo. She did have the advantage striking, but Aldana did manage to outclass her, and she did enough to get the win. So once again, not really a lot of complaints. I enjoyed this fight. Gets an up. And we take it back to the Uptown Girl, as Paulo Reyes took on Matt Frivola and defeated him by knockout within 1 minute. Well, at the exact 1 minute mark of the first round. So yeah, it also gets an up. Despite the fact that Frivola went in with a perfect 6 win, no loss record, he got his first loss on the first fight I've seen him in the UFC. I think he might have fought before then, I don't really know. But Paulo Reyes is someone I've seen fight before, and I know he's damn good, so yeah, he got a pretty good win. I would like to see Frivola get another chance, because he did look good while he lasted, so yeah. The only negative of this fight that I can think of is there was a moment where Reyes knocked Frivola's mouthpiece out, and the referee, who was Dan Rogliota, who's a really good referee, stopped the fight way too early. Well, not when the fight was finished. When the fight was finished, he stopped it at the right time. But he stopped the conflict a bit early than usual, and there wasn't a lull in the action, and he just gave Matt his mouthpiece back. It was kind of weird. I think it was this fight, might have been. But yeah, nonetheless, decent fight, gets him up. And well done to Paulo Reyes for being one of the 2 people to get a Performance of the Night bonus. So, well done him. On to the next one. We end things with the prelim main event between the James Krause and Alex White. And it was fairly back and forth, but I'm still going to give it a down because, it's 3-1 to the ups. This fight was not as exciting as I wanted it to be. I did still kind of like it, but considering how good Alex White is and considering how good James Krause is, they're both really well-rounded and they're both really good at what they do. But they didn't exactly put on a spectacular show. It was a good enough fight, and James Krause did do enough to win. But yeah, I know, there's just something about it that didn't really connect with me, and I wasn't a huge fan. But it did its job, I guess. Still gets it down from me, and I don't hate this fight, but it's probably my least favourite on the card personally. Could have done better. However, we go from that back to Uptown as Darren Elkins took on Michael Johnson and defeated him by submission with a rear naked choke at 2 minutes 22 seconds in round 2. That's a lot of 2s, and this fight gets an up. Darren Elkins got the other points on the bonus for this fight. Pardon me, and it was a really, really good showing. Because Michael Johnson looked really good, and he managed to hit Darren Elkins pretty hard in the first round, cut him open as well. It was an exciting back and forth, but eventually Darren managed to get Michael's back and get the rear naked choke. It was a really solid finish, and I like a rear naked choke. They're probably my favourite submission. And Darren got the win, gets an up, so that's 4-1. Really not a lot to complain about or talk about, because, like I mentioned, this card was kind of short. Next up, we have Kamaru Usman against Emil Weber-Meek. I was going to give this fight a down initially, but I am going to give it an up because I feel like it was back and forth and exciting enough. And Kamaru Usman won, and I like seeing him win, but I feel like Emil Weber-Meek needed the win a little bit more. I've got no problem with the win. I feel like Kamaru did do enough to win. It was a really, really good fight, to be honest. Even though I did say I was initially going to give it down, I did change my mind because like it's one of those ones where I'm thinking more about it after I've watched it. I'm just like, actually, no, that was a really good fight. So yeah, and I mean, Kamaru Usman won, which I like because I like Kamaru Usman. So that's 5-1 to the ups. It was a good fight. I enjoyed it. We're going to move on to the co-main event. Next was Paige Van Zandt against Jessica Rose Clark, and Rose Clark, to the surprise of everyone, won by unanimous decision. And this fight also gets an up. It was exciting. I really liked it. Paige Van Zandt did suffer a bit because she badly hurt her right arm in round 2 after landing a beautiful spinning back fist, but that did damage her arm really badly. And she said between rounds 2 and 3 that it was hurt. And like we see that because there was a bit of confusion on whether she said it was her arm or one of her ribs. But when she stood up and held her right arm, it was like, okay, it was her arm that was hurt, not her ribs. So yeah, she was a bit of a disadvantage, but she still showed a lot of heart, even though she lost. And I mean, Paige Van Zandt, a lot of people like her. She's a good fighter. She's very pretty. She's damn good at what she does. So you know, it's not a loss she's going to suffer from. And Jessica Rose Clark definitely put her name out a bit more, I think, by beating someone as high profile as Paige Van Zandt. So really, there were no losers in this one. Even though it wasn't a fight of the night candidate or fight of the year candidate, it did its job. The right person won. And even though there was a loser, she's not someone who's going to lose too badly from this. So yeah, I really like this fight. Gets enough. And finally, we reached the main event of the evening between Jeremy Stephens and Choi, and this one got the fight of the night, which I'm alright with, I guess. I would have given it probably more to Aldana versus Bernardo, but that's just me. But yeah, this was a deserving enough fight for the night, I guess. It's not immediately in my top 10 of the year, but I did like it, and it was fun while it lasted. Jeremy won by TKO at 2 minutes and 36 seconds of round 2. So yeah, it was a good enough fight. I feel like they both did a really really good job. The thing is, when Jeremy Stephens pulled Choi into a fight, that was when Choi started losing his cool a bit because Choi is known for being a lot more calm and collected, but Jeremy Stephens is not, which is why Jeremy Stephens has a fair few knockout losses because he's known for being kind of guns blazing, and he's got a heavy hitting style, and that's part of the reason why he won. It was still a really really good fight. And it does get an up ultimately, so that's 7-1. But there was one moment, and I just realised, like, Choi's nickname is Korean Superboy. I'm wearing my Superman shirt. Like, this was not planned because I wore my clothes from yesterday when I was watching the UFC, and what I wore yesterday was my Civil War T-shirt, which has Captain America and Iron Man on it. So I changed my shirt to this after I watched that and got undressed because I was still really tired because I'm lazy. But no, we're not focusing on that. So yeah. There was a moment, like, I don't want to bring this up before I end the video. There was a moment in round 2 where Jeremy Stephens hit Choi, and one of the commentators, I think it was Paul Felder and Todd Grisham, were on the commentator team. One of them said, Jeremy Stephens is touching up the Korean Superboy. Like, the phrasing of that could not have been any worse. It was such a... It was so damn close to being Freudian on how much of a slip it was. It was so bad. I mean, I laughed my ass off when I heard it because it was so unexpected. He didn't mean what he said, but he should have thought about it. It was kind of ridiculous, but it made me laugh. But yeah, ultimately, this was a really really good card. Solid way to kick off the year. Not fantastic, but really really good. I give it a 7 out of 10 maybe. Like it was fairly enjoyable. I mean, 7 ups, 1 down. Wasn't last down and stuff, but it was well balanced enough with fights that went the distance and finishes, so can't really complain about that. And all in all, it was just really, really enjoyable. So I guess I'll see you all for my next backtracking video, because I'm not for damn sure that's going to come up before my next UFC review. With that said, thank you for listening. You're awesome. Bye bye.